Good afternoon. As you know, that we are continuing from last Saturday discussion on aspiration prayer for Mahamudra, which is written by the third Kamapa Rangjung Dorje. And as you know, I would like to remind again that before we go into actual discussion, and I wanted to remind you to examine your intention. We are going to have this discussion from the listener side and from teacher's side for the benefit of all sentient beings. The space has no limit. Likewise, sentient beings in this space has no limit. So all these limitless sentient beings in this space are in samsara and they're experiencing tremendous suffering. And we wanted to engage in this practice of Dharma, including listening and teaching, contemplating, and meditation to liberate all of them from this suffering ocean of samsara and to lead them to a state of omniscient, state of enlightenment. So, and based on that, I will continue to try to explain from the last session. So the last time we covered shamatha meditation and partially vipassana meditation. So we are continue from that. So reading the translation. When looking at object, there are no object. They are seen as a mind. Looking at the mind, there's no mind. It is empty of nature. Looking at both dualism is liberated in its own place. May we realize the clear light, the mind's nature. So this is, as I mentioned last time, the Vipassana has 2 stanzas. So last time we talked about the first stanza, which is the actual explanation or actual aspiration to engage or to achieve the Vipassana meditation. So now the next part, the second part of Vipassana is more analysis or more discussed on wisdom. So when you look at the object, there's nothing but mind. So we, in this samsara, we see, we feel, we hear so many objects. That's our object of our faculties, our senses. Form, sound, smell, taste, and all those things. But if we contemplate on this, if we focus thoroughly on this object, there is no object but the subject, which is the mind. Only thing that you will discover and you will realize is that all those appearances, the seemingly arising, ceasing, remaining, functioning, cause, effect, and so on. But if you use this wisdom to analyze on those, when it say looking at those, doesn't mean just looking by the eyes, but looking using all those logics to see how they really are. And as it mentions earlier last time, all of those appearances are nothing but projection of mind, projection of a confusion stage of a mind, confusion aspect of mind create all these appearances. On a relative level, they appear as if they are truly exist. They are truly there. But if we use the wisdom, with thorough wisdom, with actual meditation, with the full concentration, full focus, and you don't see, none of them are truly exist, inherently exist, because they are all temporary and arising from temporary cause and conditions. They are all interdependent, especially if you use these Madhyamika logics that were composed by Nagarjuna and his disciples. And I mentioned last time how things are not arising, not remaining, not seeing, and relatively interdependently, how they are not exist. And then if you use more logics of if something being born, or cause produce a result. And then there's a question, is that result is the same time of the cause or not? If this is the same time as cause, if you are exist during the cause, that means cause is not cause. Your result is not result because you are already existed there while during the cause. And then when the cause a result appears, whether still the cause is there, exists or not, there are many different logics, but if you apply these and then thoroughly focus with your meditation, you won't see everything. You will discover or you will realize all of those things are nothing but projection of your mind. That's why we have like a dream, like a dream, like an illusion, like a rainbow, like a moon, the reflection of a moon in water, like a mirage. They're nothing but all those examples. So then you might think, okay, that's fine if all those things are projection of mind, but then mind really has to exist. It has to exist because there is something that create or project all those appearances that we see, we hear, we feel, we taste, we smell, and so on. So that means the mind has to exist. But then when you look at actual mind, the mind is baseless. The emptiness, empty of itself. Mind itself is also not exist. Because the last verse, it says, the mind is free from both dualism, eternalism, and nihilism. So it is free from eternalism because nobody has seen actual mind. Even enlightened beings, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, mind has never seen that can describe shape and color and size and so on. But then it's also not nihilism because it is the source of all the samsara and enlightenment, and everything is arising, either good or bad, samsara, enlightenment, and everything. It's arising from our mind. So therefore it's not a nihilism. So the mind that is a source of all those appearances, the mind itself is also not exist, it is empty. So then if you look both subject and object, which is the mind that is the subject, and then the appearances are the object. When you look at the both, if you look in both with your, profound and using profound logics, with the meditation, the both spontaneously dissolve it within it. Ninzing means the clinging of others and clinging of self. The clinging of others that is coming from the clinging or thinking or perceiving the outer world or appearances as exist. And then clinging that is coming from self, which is, perceiving the self that is composed by 5 aggregates, perceiving that is the real self truly exists. But if you look in these ways into those, subject and object, the spontaneously dissolved or spontaneously disappeared, because none of them truly exist. They are empty. So, what you have to understand is that understanding the appearances as projection of mind and understanding mind as empty is not something that we can understand or we can apply in our life right away. So here those are talking about when you become a genuine practitioner of Mahamudra. These are the stages that we're supposed to go through, and these are the challenges or steps that we have to face on our journey. On the other hand, these are the progress, When you look at outer object with those proper understanding of how those appearances are not exist, how they are emptiness, and how they are projection of mind, how they are interdependent, and so on. And also when we look at the mind, that is the source of all these appearances, are also empty. And we have to have a proper training, proper teaching, proper understanding. Then when we apply our meditation, we will see, we will understand. But if we are just a beginner who has, not enough study, not enough contemplating, not enough meditation, cannot expect what it said here. This is aspiration prayer, Mahamudra Aspiration Prayer. So if you look at the last verse, wasa simche nelo toparsho. What's here? May we realize the clear light, the mind's nature, the clear lights, mind's nature. In order to understand, if you are in a stage where you understand the nature of mind, then we are enlightened. We already achieved enlightenment, but we are not there yet. So that's why it is not saying that you have to expect to see every projection is confusion of mind, and mind is empty. We can intellectually understand during the process of education, process of learning. But in order to see in our real life, we have to do practice. It says realize the nature of mind. Realizing nature of mind is actually achieve enlightenment. Last time I used the Milarepa's quote. He says that when you recognize mind's nature, then you are enlightened. There's no enlightenment that you have to find somewhere else. Enlightenment means recognition of mind itself. And at the same time, and samsara is also coming from the mind, which means not realizing nature of mind is a samsara. So when it says may we realize the nature of mind, means may we become a Buddha. So when we become Buddha, what do we have to have? We have to understand. We will be in a stage where we can, apply all those points into our life. For example, when you look at other appearances, form, sound, smell, taste, form through your eyes, sound through your ear, smell through your nose, taste through your tongue, and feeling through your body. With the proper meditation, deep contemplation, deep concentration, samadhi, profound shamatha meditation, and then you will see everything is like an illusion, everything is like a dream, like a rainbow, reflection of a moon in the water, and your image in a mirror, So then you will turn around, you look into the mind, but mind is also nothing but empty. Yet it's not an empty, dark, finished, empty, but it's clarity that functions everything. That is, its mind is like an object. I mean, it's like a mirror, mirror that can appears any object into that mirror. For example, water. Clear water. When you look into clear water, if the moon comes in the sky, the reflection of moon will be in the water. If the cloud comes, the reflection of cloud will be in the water. If aeroplane flies us over, it appears, the projection appears in the water. When sun rises, the reflection of the sun in the water. The water itself is completely clear that can appear anything in it. It can appear beautiful, precious object in it. When you put a mirror here, if you put a diamond in front of the mirror, exact same diamond will appear in the mirror. If you put a shed in front of the mirror, then shed will appear. Whatever statue, if you put a Buddha statue, exactly statue will appear. If you put a piece of rock, it will appear. So the mirror has to be clean and clear. What appears in it, it depends on what object you use. So mind is like that. It can appear everything from the top of the enlightenment to the bottom of the samsara. It can appear any and every phenomena into our mind. So the next verse is, read the translation. This freedom from mental engagement is Mahamudra. Beyond extremes, it is the great middle way. As this includes everything, it is also called the great perfection. May we gain the confidence that to know one is to realize the meaning of all. So now basically here it's talking about what is the Mahamudra? What is the Chalya Chimbo? So basically the practice of Chalya Chimbo include everything. All the profound practices are included in Mahamudra. If you are genuine Mahamudra practitioner, that means you are great practitioner of every practice, from every lineage. So that's why this is called Mahamudra, but you can also call Madhyamika, and also call great perfection, Dzogchen, which means the Dzogchen and Madhyamika and Kondeyermi, we use different names, different terminologies for those practice that is, interpreted into different lineages of Buddhism. But when you really look at it carefully, they are all same. The great perfection, the Dzogchen, has nothing that Mahamudra practice doesn't have. And Madhyamika practice does not have anything that doesn't include in Mahamudra practice. And Kondeyami does not have anything that does not include in Mahamudra practice, because Mahamudra practice include every high level of practice. So what it means is there's no practice beyond this Mahamudra. If there is, Satyapantita said that if there is a view that is beyond view of a perfectional wisdom, that means that view is contaminated, which means that view is not right view. So same here, if there is a practice that is beyond or that is excluded of a Mahamudra, that is incorrect practice, which means every perfectional practice includes this. Why? Because the ultimate practice of Mahamudra is recognizing the true nature of mind, that is enlightenment. There is nothing no better than enlightenment. If there is something that you can bring beyond or better than enlightenment, better than Buddha, you must be, it must have some problems. Because there's nothing beyond enlightenment, nothing beyond Buddha. You understand what I'm trying to say? So Mahamudra that we are talking is beyond mental fabrication. The Mahamudra practice is beyond mental fabrication, means that is beyond your ordinary mind can think this and that. It's beyond that, because the reality is beyond the mental fabrication. So therefore, Madhyamika is included, and great perfection is included, yet it included every great practices. So the next one is it's talking about experiences of practice of Mahamudra. So what it says that unceasing great bliss without attachment, the unveiled clear light free from conception, and spontaneously present, free from thought, beyond intellect, may effortless experience be unceasing. So this one talking about experiences of Mahamudra. So when we do Mahamudra practice, so there are three experiences that can happen during the practice. So the first one is bliss, and then the second experience is a clarity, and third experience is emptiness. So those experiences will arise during the Mahamudra practice. And during your practice of genuine shamatha and vipassana meditation. But then when it explained these three experiences, the bliss, the bliss, the peaceful bliss that you will experience, it can be both mentally and physically blissful. But as long as if you're not attached to that bliss, the moment of bliss, it's the experience, genuine experience. But if attach, as soon as you have attachment arises to the blessing, the bless, did you use the word bless? Unceasing great bless, yes, bliss. Without attachment, it says without attachment. It's the first bless. And then second bless is the clarity. Clarity is the second bless. Second experience. Unveiled clear light, free from conceptions. When these the clarity experience arises, it has to be unveiled. And these clear and also has to be free from, conception, right? The concepts, you can have any, hopes, fears, anger, and hatred, and desire, all sort of concepts, more like a negative concepts. If these clear, it's not a free from concepts, then it's not a genuine experience of a Mahamudra practice. It has to be free from any type of concept. Clarity, yet free from, it has to be unveiled. And then the next experience is the mato, means it is spontaneous present freedom from thought beyond intellect. So this means basically emptiness. You have a feeling of emptiness. But then this feeling of emptiness is not intellectually, go through analytical meditation and then you will understand or that this is empty. But no, when you combine vipassana meditation with the shamatha, when they become inseparable, the experience of emptiness will arise. It says spontaneously, right? Spontaneous arise of emptiness, empty feeling, more like empty feeling, without intellectual, analysis. So these three, bliss and clarity and emptiness, are those experiences. The experiences of Mahamudra. So bliss has to be free from attachment. And then clarity has to be free from concepts. And then emptiness free from intellect. As long as if you are free, your experiences are free from those, then your meditation experience is a genuine experience. But then again, while we are doing meditation, we cannot expect those experiences. As soon as expect any of those experiences, that expectation becomes obstacle to arise those experiences. Okay? And then when those experiences arise, if you attach to them or clinging to them, right away it becomes obstacle to seize those experiences. So whether the experiences arises or not, no expectation to arise this experience. Once we have these experiences, we have to be able to maintain balance with no grasping. Just you are basically rest on the nature of a mind with proper shamatha meditation and vipassana in analytical meditation. When these two combines, experiences arises, but those experiences comes and goes.